equipment rolling. Or you can take your parts to their welding shop just off Illinois Route 10 east of Clinton for repair. Either way, AAK Mechanical's welding shop and their on-site mobile welding will keep you going this spring. Put this number in your smartphone, 935-8501. That's 935-8501, and type in AAK Mechanical to get your parts welded and back in operation this planting season.
WHOW Planting Reports are brought to you by our title sponsor, Apex Clean Energy, planting the seeds for a better future in Illinois. Whiffles Hybrids, your local Whiffles Hybrid seed dealer and sponsor of our Whiffles Wednesday Reports. Baum Chevrolet Buick, where you'll find the official truck of our planting reports, the 2025 Chevy Silverado, along with Peterson Insurance, AAK Mechanical, and Longview Community Bank, all in Clinton. Maroa Ag north of Maroa, the State Bank of Bement, in Bement, and Monticello. Hennings Equipment Company near Assumption. Jenner Precision at Fairburn, and the McLean County Farm Bureau.
News time is 10 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. Top of the morning from the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast on this Wednesday, brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Visit DeWittDailyNews.com for more. Due to heat and possible thunderstorms, Thursday's Warner Hospital and Health Services Health Fair will shift indoors. First Christian Church in Clinton will host the Health Fair, which will keep the same times. Join the city-owned hospital to learn more about the latest with the hospital, including its recent renovations to the emergency room and the upcoming completion of the west side entrance and new parking lot. The Health Fair is 4 to 7 p.m. and again is shifting to First Christian Church in Clinton. Find the hospital on Facebook for more information. This Thursday's health fair at Warner Hospital and Health Services was meant to showcase the new West Side entrance, but because of delays, the unveiling will be delayed itself. CEO of Warner Hospital and Health Services, Paul Skowron, explains while the project is getting finished later than he would have liked, attendees to this week's health fair will still get a sneak peek at the almost finished project.
The West Side entrance for the specialty clinic, you remember, back in the winter, I said my dream was to have it open so folks could walk right in and begin a tour of the hospital. Weather conditions, supplies, different things have postponed the actual official opening, but at least folks will be able to park on the in that new West Side parking lot, see the new entrance and the sign, but we don't have yet the custom metal wrought iron railing that's for safety to walk up the ramp. And IDPH rules, state regulations, we can't actually use the entrance until we have that new railing. That probably won't be installed by the health fair, by the day of the health fair on May 15th. But be able to eyeball it and look forward to their next appointment at the specialty clinic when they'll be able to walk in directly into the west side of the hospital.
Skowron reminds the purpose of the new entrance is to make it easier for patients to reach the specialty clinic and avoid traveling through the emergency room where they could potentially be exposed to sick patients.
For direct access to the specialty clinic, which forever the only access has been to park across the street, come into the hospital, take the elevator upstairs and walk through the medical surgical area to get to the specialty clinic. COVID has taught us, that was one of the lessons from COVID. Patients really don't need to be walking through the area where there are inpatient beds. They need a direct access, and that's why we built it. Yeah, and that is also where our electric charging stations installed by Baum Chevrolet are, and they're used a lot.
See the new West Side entrance at the Warner Hospital and Health Fair this Thursday at the Health Fair that is again been shifted to First Christian Church in Clinton. The Health Fair is from 4 to 7 p.m. Keep it to Regional Radio for live updates from the Health Fair beginning at 3 p.m. and they conclude at 7 p.m. As soon as this afternoon, or Tuesday afternoon, the city of Clinton will begin closing down streets for this weekend's May Days festival. Clinton Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Janice Peterson indicates they will begin closing down streets in the downtown area to get the carnival set up for this weekend's May Days festival.
We are starting to close, we will close Washington Street and the 100 block of North Center Street from the square to Washington on Tuesday afternoon by 4 o'clock. The parking lots next to Sorrento's and the one that's on the corner of Monroe and Washington, all cars need to be out of that parking lot by 4 o'clock on Tuesday so that the carnival can start setting up. So those will be closed all weekend. And then on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, the entire square will close. So make sure that you get your cars all moved. Clinton Police will help us identify cars so we can get a hold of people to get them moved. We don't like to do that because it takes them away from other things, but they helped us last year just get a couple cars moved. So just a reminder that everything needs to be off of Washington Street and North Center by 4 o'clock on Tuesday, and then the square will be 3 o'clock on Friday. Closes for the whole weekend. The square will open back up at 6 o'clock-ish on Sunday.
Peterson reminds there is still time to get those pre-sale wristband tickets for the carnival. They are $22 for a 4-hour time window during the carnival. She believes this is a great deal to give you as many rides at the carnival as you'd like.
They have been available since May 1st. You can buy them at the First National Bank, Heartland Bank, DeWitt Savings, Big D's, IGA, at the chamber office, and I think I covered that all. Plus, they're available online. If you want to purchase them online, just go to our Facebook page, and you can find the link. If you scroll down a little bit, you can find the link, and we'll post it again today. $22 this year, and that's good for a 4-hour period. So either Thursday night from 6 to 10, Friday from 6 to 10, Saturday from noon to 4. The carnival takes a break from 4 to 5, and then 5 to 10, and then Sunday from 1 to 5.
May Days is again this Thursday through Sunday in downtown Clinton. Get information by finding the Clinton Chamber of Commerce on Facebook. A law that went into effect earlier this month will task law enforcement with carrying out civilian warrants to confiscate firearms. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister told Regional Radio Karina's law allows those who have an order of protection against another individual to have a search warrant executed to seize the firearms of that individual.
So Karina's law pertains to domestic violence situations and orders of protection. In any circuit court in Illinois, a victim of domestic violence can petition the court for an order of protection to keep that person that's causing them issues away from them. But Karina's law has added a complicating factor, and what it is the petitioner of an order of protection can also petition the court for a search warrant, which generally only law enforcement could request a search warrant before this. But now the petitioner can testify to a petition or an affidavit for search warrant and have the court issue a search warrant. Then that's delivered to law enforcement, and we have to go execute that search warrant at the home of the respondent of the order. And those search warrants are only valid for firearms parts, accessories.
Chief Meister calls it a huge burden on law enforcement. While much of his staff is trained in tactical situations like executing a search warrant, there will be continuing education that comes with the legislation.
Absolutely. So to safely execute a residential search warrant, you have to have a team of officers who's one, trained to do that type of function. And two, you have to have enough to get it done safely. Usually team bare minimum is 6 officers that are dedicated only to that detail, that function, and sometimes as much as double that amount, depending on what type of property is to be searched and secured. So you're talking about huge overtime costs, a lot of staffing issues. For those officers that are, it's called CQB, close quarters battle or contact trained. That's a minimum 40-hour class and then continuing education after that, just to get a certification in that type of function. Yeah, and luckily for Lincoln, most of our staff have gone through tactics training like that. We rotate guys through that just so that they have that base, that foundation, in case they ever get into a situation where that type of behavior is needed.
There are several concerns over the legislation. Chief Meister points out this will bog down law enforcement because he predicts many petty or frivolous orders of protection being sought and then search warrants that follow those requests.
I'm afraid of a person issuing or requesting a frivolous order and a frivolous search warrant.
Yeah.
That's my main concern, because and no cop wants to rush up into somebody's house and take away their firearms that they legally possess just because somebody has lied about them. Right. So they are seized and retained by law enforcement for the period of time that the order is active. And at that point, when the order is no longer active, the owner can petition the court to have the firearms returned to them. And then if that order is issued, police have to return the firearms within 14 days. Our courts are often forgiving when it comes to information in a petition for an order of protection, because they want to err on the side of caution. If a person comes in and says, I'm the victim of domestic violence, the court is oftentimes going to side with them, at least for the emergency portion of that order. That's a 2-week period.
Okay.
Then there's another hearing, a plenary hearing, where the respondent can come in and argue, no, I haven't been violent with this person.
Gotcha.
And there's a little more scrutiny at that point from the courts.
Chief Meister is also concerned that executing a search warrant on short notice will create uncertain circumstances for his officers. He explains normally there is knowledge of what is happening at the targeted site of a warrant, but with this legislation, there will be little time to prepare.
When the order of protection is accompanied by a search warrant, the law requires simultaneous service. So when a deputy gets that paper to serve and shows up at the residence, which he's required to serve an emergency order of protection as soon as practicable, then we have to go. The jurisdiction having the responsibility for answering calls for service there has to go to that residence and serve the search warrant at the same time. The petitioner for the order of protection has to ask for the search warrant. So not every case will you have a search warrant connected with that order of protection.
Right.
But there's always that option. So there's remedies in an order of protection that the judge decides whether or not are appropriate to issue. Most often there's a 500-foot stay away order. So the respondent can't be within 500 feet of the petitioner. Different protected addresses. Sometimes there's child custody agreement stuff attached to it. So a person who has an order of protection issued against them is prohibited from possessing firearms. And it's always been that way. That's where the firearms part comes in. Also, a person who's been convicted of domestic violence is prohibited from having those. What the law does is it allows the petitioner, if they have knowledge of this person who now has an order against them possessing firearms, it allows them to petition the court instead of law enforcement taking that information and petitioning.
Another piece of legislation, House Bill 1611, works in direct contradiction to Karina's law. We'll have more on that proposal that is in the House next week on Regional Radio. News time is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. Plenty more to get to coming up yet still on the WHOW Morning Show.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton and Farmer City. This is what we strive to do each and every day. We'll listen to you, give you the options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that is knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at baumchevybuick.com right from the start.
Experience the power of better connection with Connexus Fiber Internet. Connexus delivers ultra-fast, reliable speeds to keep you connected at the speed of life. Whether you're working from home, streaming your favorite shows, or gaming with your friends, Connexus has you covered. Say goodbye to buffering and dropped calls and say hello to Fiber Fast Internet. Ready to upgrade your connection? Sign up today by clicking the Connexus icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. Nothing connects us like Connexus.
News time is 23 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. A rural mental health summit is set for later this week. The event is Thursday at the Agri Center in Bloomington, says Lynn Weiss with the Farm Family Resource Initiative.
We would like to see health professionals, those people that are social workers, or those that are working as individuals that are working with our families initially. Agricultural leaders are more than welcome to attend in that, but they are going to find out some of the events that we have or resources that we have, but educators, community advocates, faith-based people, and again, those government officials that work with individuals.
More information is available at siumed.org/farm. A truck inspection blitz is planned for the next several days. Don Schaefer with the Springfield, Illinois-based Midwest Truckers Association has more.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, starting tomorrow, is the International Road Check Inspection Blitz. This is the annual 72 hours of inspections, which is coordinated by the Commercial Vehicle Safety Alliance in partnership with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration here in Illinois, with Illinois State Police and other enforcement authorities. Basically, what you're going to see is that you're going to see roadside truck inspections in a lot of places, especially at the way stations. You'll see them on the interstates. You'll see them roadside on the state highways. So it is all hands on deck. And the inspectors are going to be busy looking for just about anything on your vehicle. The big thing is that, the inspections can be anything for a violation from a broken windshield, broken tailpipe. It could be tires. And basically what they're going to do is what's called a level 1 inspection. They check 37 different things on the vehicle and or the driver to make sure that they're in compliance with the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Regs. And, so there, a lot of times you get a roadside check, it's real quick. These are the full thing. So the big thing is you got to be patient. You're going to be pulled in. You're going to have all your docs ready. You're going to have to, you're going to be checking everything on the truck, and you just have to be patient. The big thing is that if you get a clean score and they say you're fine, usually they'll give you a CVSA sticker. This is basically a sticker that says you're good, for 3 months for not having to have another inspection. It all depends on where you're at and if the inspector wants to do it, but that's usually what happens. It's kind of like getting a gold star if you have a clean inspection.
Again, the International Road Check Inspection Blitz is midweek, still today and tomorrow. News time is 27 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Wednesday. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 82-year-old Judith Ann Heiberg of Waynesville passed away May 10th at Goldwater in Clinton. Graveside services for 82-year-old Judith Ann Heiberg will be at 11 a.m. Friday at Evergreen Cemetery in Waynesville, with Pastor Mark Cooper officiating. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with arrangements. Memorials can be directed to the Clinton Church of God or the Wounded Warrior Project. 93-year-old Mavis Arlene McMahon of Clinton passed away May 2nd at her home in Clinton. A celebration of life for 93-year-old Mavis Arlene McMahon will be from 1 to 5 p.m. Saturday at the Eagles Lodge in Clinton. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials in Mavis's name can be directed to Second Chance for Pets. 94-year-old Edith C. Huffman of Clinton passed away May 3rd at her home in Clinton. Services for 94-year-old Edith C. Huffman will be at 11 a.m. Monday at Calvert Funeral Home in Clinton with Ernie Harvey Jr. officiating. Burial will follow at McClellan's Cemetery in Hallsville. The visitation will be from 10 to 11 a.m. Monday at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to the Clinton Fire Department. 90-year-old Frederick Eugene Fritz Krang of Santa Barbara, California, formerly of Clinton, passed away April 27th at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in Santa Barbara, California. Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Online condolences can be made at calvertmemorial.com. Coverage of news on this Wednesday brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and we again brought to you by brought to you by Connexus, providing fiber internet to Clinton. Learn more at DeWittDailyNews.com. News time, 29 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Wednesday. Still to come this morning, we hear more from our local planting reports. It's Wiffles Wednesday here on WHOW. That comes up next in the 7:30 to 8 o'clock time frame. Later this morning, another look at news and local sports. Clinton baseball, a winner on the diamond, or a loser on the diamond yesterday to Maroa Forsyth. Other winners yesterday, Lincoln wins in high school baseball. Those stories later in sports.
With SRN News, I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. For the time in more than 2 decades, leaders from the U.S. and Syria have met face to face. Before leaving Saudi Arabia today, President Trump met with Syria's interim leader. The president announced this week that he will move to lift sanctions on Syria and normalize relations with the new government. Egg prices have declined for the first time since October. According to the Consumer Price Index, the average price for a dozen grade A eggs fell to $5.12 last month. Even so, egg prices remain near record high as